I come, Lord, I come, I come, Lord, I come to tell you I love you, to tell you I need you, to tell you there's no better place for me than in your arms, to tell you I'm sorry for running in circles, for placing my focus on the waves, not on your face. You're the only one who brings me peace. You're the only one who brings me peace. I'm so forgetful, but you always remind me. You're the only one who brings me peace. You're the only one who brings me peace. So I come, Lord, I come, I come, Lord, I come to tell you I love you, to tell you I need you, to tell you there's no better place for me than in your arms, to tell you I'm sorry for running in circles, for placing my focus on the waves, not on your face. You're the only one who brings me peace. You're the only one who brings me peace in the storm. In the storm. I'm so forgetful, but you always remind me. You're the only one who brings me peace. You're the only one who brings me peace.
Hey, firmly rooted, good morning. Welcome to Strengthening Our Roots. It is Thursday morning, and I looked at the weather. It looks like Oxford, you guys are getting some snow this morning. And then it's going to turn around and be in the mid 70s this weekend. So, wow, what a difference a week makes. But anyway, thank you for joining me, and it's just great to be with you guys. We have a passage today. You know, Pastor Tom, he's been giving me grief. He's been saying, "Oh, Pastor, he selects the readings, and so he gives me all the hard readings." Well, this is case in point that Pastor Tom does not get all the hard readings. I have a very difficult text to try to make sense of today, but I will with the help of the Holy Spirit. But it just goes to show that I'm not picking on you, Pastor Tom. But as I said last week, if I do, it's because I respect and admire you greatly, brother, in your grasp of both Old and New Testament. Let's look at who is on today. Good morning, Pamela C. Good morning. Oh, there he is. So I got to really step up now. Good morning, Pastor. Good morning, Bert. Good morning, Olivia Thompson. Good morning, Vivian Davis. And he's cracking up. Okay, love you. Love you too. All right. Well, everyone, let's dig right in. So we're looking at Mark chapter 13, verses 30 to 31, Signs of the End, part 16. Well done, by the way, those of you who have made it to part 16. So Jesus says, "Truly I say to you, this generation will not pass away until all these things take place." Okay, wow, that has caused much consternation for Christendom over the years because hopefully you can figure out the obvious. The generation that was being written to right then and that Jesus was speaking to obviously has passed away. Okay. All of these things. What are all of these things? Well, of course, the tribulation, all right? All of the woes that are going to be coming upon the judgments upon the earth, all of those things that we are expecting to come preceding Christ's return, all right? The end of the end, all of that, he apparently is saying now, uh, this generation is going to see all of that. This generation, meaning these first century disciples, Christians. Okay, so what on earth do we do with that? All right, so here is my best attempt at making sense of this. And there are a myriad of different sort of interpretations. I won't get into all those. I'll just go with what we don't have time, but I will go with what seems to make sense to me. When you look at the Greek, here's where it's really helpful to look at the Greek. And by the way, you can get the Greek online. I have an app. It's called Bible Hub. There's also Blue Letter Bible. And it's really awesome, you guys. It gives you can go to the interlinear, and it gives you the actual Greek for the words right next to the English. So you don't have to even know Greek, but let's get into a little bit of the grammar here. All right, so here we go. Let's look at the verb will not pass away. Okay, so will not pass away. It's kind of a fancy grammatical verb structure here. It is, well, let's just see if we can figure it out just from our knowledge of English grammar, okay? What would you think will not pass away is? Is that present tense? Is it future? Is it past tense? Well, we would look at this and go, well, it's kind of like maybe future, but it's what's known as the subjunctive tense, and basically what that means is just it's something that is desired. Okay, so it's Jesus is in a sense desiring that this generation will not pass away. Okay. So, but it looks a lot like future. So it looks like in the future, it will not pass away. However, there's something else going on here, and it's called the aorist tense. It's actually spelled aorist, and the aorist tense is a past tense, but it's a past that doesn't end in the past. It has the thought of it can keep going. I won't get into all of that. But anyway, what the aorist tense combined with the subjunctive should literally sound like should be will not have passed away. So you've got the sense of almost future and past, okay? And sorry, we're dealing with the verb actually pass, so that's I don't want you to get confused with past tense and the actual verb we're looking at. But will if you go to an interlinear, okay, and you'll see that the most accurate literal translation of this Greek verb structure is will not have passed away. Okay, so I just want to highlight this. Will not have passed away. So if you think about when you're talking about a group that is in your immediate sphere, I don't think you would talk about them in a subjunctive aorist tense. You would do so more like it's actually translated here. And I honestly, I don't know why the majority of the English translations translate it this way, but they do. This makes more sense if you were talking with, you know, people that are immediately around you, right? So in other words, these things take place. Sorry, my internet connection is kind of spotty. So if I lose you for just a second, that's why. I'm sorry. I'm not sure what's going on. Lord, please correct that. But if I were to say, you will not have passed away, that wouldn't make as much sense, would it? Right? So if I were to, so now Jesus, if he is truly saying this generation will not have passed away until all these things take place, to me, that's indicative of him not speaking about the group that's around him, but rather he's referring to another group. Does that make sense? In other words, another group in the future, right, will not have passed because they're in the future, and so that's where then the aorist, that past tense comes into place, right? Does that make sense? So, what is this other? What is this other group? What is this other, future group that will not have passed away? Well, I think that is clearly referring to the generation that has just been talked about in the preceding verses, right? In other words, the generation of the Great Tribulation, the generation of, whatever years that is in the future that will see all of these things. All right, and here is where it's really helpful. If you have your Bibles, just you can go to Matthew's gospel, and Matthew oftentimes, remember, Mark is writing very quickly. He's usually using the term immediately often, and so when Matthew sort of fleshes it out, he is talking about this generation in terms of when he says this generation, he's actually referring to a future generation. So if I could just go there with you here, and I'm sorry, I should have marked it. Okay, 24. You know what? Okay. He says in the lesson of the fig tree, he says, so also when you see all these things, you know that he is near at the very gates. So he's saying these things, or, we would have sort of the equivalency here of this, these and this, okay, sort of referring to the same thing. So I hope that's helpful to you all to just see that we don't have to be intimidated by what doesn't make sense to us. And on the initial reading, I remember in college I had a Bible. This was before the Lord visited me in that dream and brought me back to faith in him. And I had a Bible. I had a religious studies class, and I was marking up everything that I felt in my mind didn't make sense. And I was trying to basically I was trying to excuse my sin, and so I was trying to mark up ways that I saw that the Bible I felt contradicted itself. And so anyway, what happened to me after that dream is that the Lord gave me this piece to just say, to sort of lay the Bible at his feet and just say, God, I may not understand all of this, but it's your word and I believe it. And so rather than me trying to change your word, change me, change my mind, change my heart. And you guys, I just cannot tell you how many times, I haven't understood a verse or a passage, and then all it takes is another brother or sister, or maybe just my own study, to then open my eyes to see that there's no contradiction, there's no error, that again, I just needed to come into a better understanding of his word. So I want to close now with verse 31. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away. What a wonderful promise that is, isn't it? Remember, Jesus, he is the Word made flesh, right? In the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. We can be confident in this ever-changing world of ours. I mean, so much we're dealing with, right? With the economy, with global viruses, with crime, with just all sorts of world catastrophes, with war in Ukraine. Jesus's words will not pass away. So take comfort in that, friends, and take comfort that Jesus was not speaking untruthfully when he said, this generation, meaning the generation that will see the Great Tribulation, will not pass away, will not have passed away until all these things take place. All right. God bless you guys. Thanks for being with me. I will be back at 9 o'clock for prayer time, if you can join me then. If not, have a firmly rooted day. May someone see Jesus in us today. Peace.